So yesterday we we finished here on PSMA plantation crushing yield. Uh, we were discussing here all the numbers and everything, why these factors are important to note down. Then once we finished it, I went to complete notify that I would begin by exploring the Competition Commission of Pakistan's report. So what happens is when I was doing all this research and all that, so it was getting expensive day by day. Expensive means it was getting expended. So my aim was to make it a bit much of contract in some place, to make it shrink, so that I can have a linear method idea to uh, to further pursue this research. So what I did, I went to I came to find out this report that is of year 2000 April 2018 report. So I began to read on it, and as I began to read on it, I started to jot down the points and important points. Some Because when you read, you find out there are some important points, and those can be facts, numbers, and suggestions. So you can later on use them to incorporate in your own research work. So what I did, I started to give the numbering to all the points, and then uh, reference them where I have taken it, because sometimes it happens you when you pick up the research sometime later, uh, when you have worked on it, so you tend to forget from where did you get all this data and the numbers. So it's always I keep in mind to record the numbers, the references, and the points where I've taken it. So it becomes easier to gain understanding later on what is the context of this point. So as you see here, let's say let me read something. So I jot down the points such as supply chain understanding. Uh, to understand supply chain from this report, that I need to understand the supply chain, and then large retailers, utility stores, Corporation of Pakistan, important names for conducting research. And there are industrial customers such as biscuit and confectionery manufacturers that I would not have known because it was not mentioned in the PSMA report. And then TCP mandated by government of Pakistan, Trading Corporation of Pakistan that I came to know later. Uh, TCP mandated by government of Pakistan in 1967 to do agriculture import and export. Now TCP is a trading corporation of Pakistan, an institute which was formed by government of Pakistan. Specifically, it tries to manage import and exports by keeping extra stocks. So I came to know about this when I read in this report that what it does. Then you have ECC Economic Coordination Committee decides the quality and quantity to be exported. I did not know this. So when I read this, so I got to know this. That ECC determines the quality and quantity to be exported. Now that must be the part of government, it means. So in you know though sugar sector is just uh, one industry, but it is divided, you can say, or have more exposure to different sectors of the economy. Now you have ECC in government, then you have TCP in the government that is making some decisions of trying to review the reports and doing the imports and exports. Then you have ECC determining the how much quantity and quality you can export. Then you have API that does local research in the field, Agriculture Policy Institute. Then you have PSMA Mills, Sugar Association, that is representative of all the mills that are associated and got themselves enrolled with the PSMA. Then you have another like international institutions such as FAS, Foreign Agriculture Service, USDA, uh, United States Department of Agriculture that we have seen earlier. Then you have PBS, Pakistan Bureau of Statistics, that is incorporating the details financial year export and import. So all this. Then within the report, it was mentioned the farmers that have timely sugarcane payment issues. So just tried to find the important points that I may need to work on further to identify, pricing and the payments, sugar import and export issues. That might help in resolving the problems and would serve the purpose of myself doing this research, finding solutions for all. So delay. It's another point was delayed purchases produce lose weight and sucrose content to avoid issue permits in accordance with planted areas. So what happens is when farmers cultivate the sugar and they when mill delayed the purchases, so sugarcane tends to get dry. Once tends to get dry because that is perishable item, sugarcane. Once it dries up, its weight reduces. It becomes light, and it means the sucrose content within this. That means that juicy sucrose content within the sugarcane is reduced and has been dried. So now less amount of sugar will be produced, even though the farmer has done all the efforts to ensure that it uh, produce and the good variety of cane for good quality and get the uh, payment against it. But when the purchase is delayed, so it produces this effect. Produce lose weight. That means make it dry, and the sucrose content is dried, so it cannot produce more sugar. Now this could be one of the things. Perhaps mills have their own counter argument to it. So this at this stage, preliminary stage of research, it is important to gather points such as these, but not to make your decisions based on this. So this is just for the reading and for the information purpose. Then weighing produce on multiple scales for accuracy of produce. It tells perhaps the sugarcane is being weighted on different uh, instruments and all. Mills fail to pay price floor set by provincial governments. Now this is one of the highlighting points that perhaps some mills would not have been following the prices set by provincial government. Then middleman corruption, buying from farmers at low price, then set by government, and then weighted less than its actual weight. Since and not everything is perfect, there might be some issues, and it could be 1 or 2%, or perhaps a group. We don't know, but we just know that this be might have happened somewhere. So therefore, Competition Commission of Pakistan have reported, and if mills cease to operate, the farmers suffer. So let's say if mill says I'm not operating, I'm not making the sugarcane, it's not going to make a purchase. So ultimately, it's going to affect the farmer. So it's interdependent chain connected one with the another that we have also to consider. So while reading all this, in detail, I came across this point. The sugar demand was 5.5 million metric tons. That is 5,500,000 million metric tons. That was the sugar demand. The production from the previous year was 7.5 million metric tons. That means the sugar demand was this much, 5.5, and the production in previous year was 7.5. That means you have produced more, and but the demand was less, 5.5. And this year, the demand would be 8.5 million metric tons. That is 2 points more, a 1 point more than the previous 100 1 point more than the previous year. So I thought, why not work on these numbers? So from my research, from the concrete numbers that we have, I could have pursued some of the points here, but I thought This is the these are the numbers reported by the CCP. So I might go and see what comes up, what insights I may get to generate. So I started to work on this, and this here you can see how one point leads to another part of the research. So as you can see, I began by finding out that the sugar quantity was 7.5 million metric tons that we have just read here 5.5 million metric tons. So I wrote sugar production marketing year, that was since previous year, so it's 7.5 million, and for the next year 8.5. So that I've also taken from here. This year would be 8.5 million metric tons. So that was April 2018. The report is from April 2018. So I put the figure here for numbers here for. So it's October 2017 to September 2018 marketing year. So there we have the numbers. Now estimated sugar demand means overall what is the demand within the country. So that was 5.5 million metric tons, but where you are producing more, so you still have 2 million of difference more production in more sugar stock in year 2017. So what happens here? Uh, then I went to write what would have been the sugar production demand from year in the next years, since previous it is not mentioned for the year 2018. So I've given estimate to increase 200,000 million metric tons. Why? Because your population here that was in 2017 or 2017 was 191.10. So let's say the difference here would be from year 2017 to it's the difference of 16 million. So even for 16 million, uh, if you increase 200,000 sugar demand just to forecast what it's going to be for the next year, so you pretty much have the estimates. Now this estimate of 200,000 was not rough, because when I worked initially, when I began to work on it, so if you see the pattern here, every year your the amount of sugar that was increasing was around 200,000. You produced 5.4, and then you produced 5.43. And the next year, sugar consumption was 4.95, and then increased to 5. Then gradually in year 2017, it is a difference of 200,000. Uh, and then you can produce more, but your sugar consumption rate every year remains same. That is increasing with 200,000 every year. So you see, in 2018, from 5.2 it went to 5.4, difference of 200,000, and then from 2018 to 2019 it went from 5.4 thousand to 5.6, and then 5.8, and then 6. So every year when the population increases, the difference increases was 200,000. So that was the estimate demand that I've kept in here for sugar consumption. So I'll just stop here so that it does not, make my recording vanish. You were discussing difference of 200,000. So that is how I came to estimated sugar demand for year 2018. So the difference between these two, production and demand, was 2.8 million metric tons, whereas in previous year it was 2 million. So when you add them both, it becomes demand difference from production and demand. The difference becomes 4.8 million metric tons. The total sugar quantity for 2 years would become 16 million metric tons. Now, these are the concrete numbers because they are reported in the CCP report. This was that we have taken, and this is a self estimated. This number here I have written self estimated. So I keep try to reference it because just now when I opened this sheet now to record it, I completely forgot where I got these numbers from. So since I have them reference here, So I was able to determine, okay, where I had these numbers. Though I know why they are there and what is the understanding behind them, but I forgot where I took them. So for every number I have kept the reference, and it's normal. Anyone, if you pick up report, let's say I've picked this report from here, like from quite let's say it's August 21st, but then I was working on this report, and today is almost October 1st. So 2 months you tend to forget where you have picked the number. So it is always wise to record them. I do that. Then total consumption. Now this number for the year 2017-2018 I picked from the PSMA report 2016, 17 and 17. So we have this concrete data as well. Now how then I mentioned the average per month consumption that was 4.25 for year 2017 and for 425,000 million metric ton for 2017 and 433,333.33 for year 2018. How I came here on this consumption? You simply go divide the total consumption here 5.1 with 12. You're going to get average per month consumption. This is going to tell how much your country needs per month. So this is the annual and this is the per month. So every year, if for every month, Pakistan needs 425,000 million metric tons of sugar every month, and same goes for year 2018. So I found it was 433.33 thousand. Then I recorded the population as well. What is the difference of population? It was 16 million difference. 16 million population increase from year 2017 to 18. Then I went to record how this consumption is divided between the two groups. So your sugar does not only gets between goes to the domestic consumers. Domestic consumers are the household, and that accounts for 25% in one of the report that I read of PSMA. But this report from USDA, under consumption USDA, United States Department of Agriculture, it says that 60% of your total consumption goes to the bulk consumers. Now, bulk consumers are the ones who take the sugar for for producing, candies, biscuits, sweet biscuits, sweet candies, and all that. And your domestic consumption households, the retail consumers that every individual goes, a family goes and buys, that is only around 40% as per this USDA, but PSMS said it is 25%, whereas the bulk consumer, that is company industrials, they take the 75% of sugar. So that is the total consumption. So here I also came to find out that often when you have shortages in the consumer market, so there should not have been, because their consumption is almost 25%, let's say, as per PSMA, one of the reports that I read, and 40% as per USDA. So even if it's 25 and 40, and the consumption increases to, let's say, 30 here and 50 here, so local consumers should be, I think, should be facilitated before the industrial consumers are. They can, or they can, have some sort of arrangement with the provincial governments that they can do their own plantation, be allowed with this to just thinking at this point, okay, this is not a problem of shortage in the excess, and this can be resolved. So here we are, and then domestic consumption per month. You have, if you divide this number with 12, you get this number. So that is your 170,000 domestic, and that is your bulk consumption per month. If you divide this number, and when you add both these numbers together, you get 5.1 million metric tons, and that we have recorded here, and that is a number taken from PSMA. So these numbers are derived. Some that you get, some you derive them. Then sugar demand was 5.5 that we have it. Now estimated 2 years demand you came is around 11 million metric tons. If you just double this amount, it did not add more. So the demand production difference becomes of 5 5 million metric tons. Estimated numbers that we are working on. So that was all, and Then we are going to cover this and the whole sheet, how I pursued it further ahead. So the, we have covered the points to give structure to my work till now. I began to work on Competition Commission of Pakistan CCP report, also to see if I missed some aspects during the exploratory research that we have done, discussed. I mean, began to read and try to jot down important points, suggestions, perhaps some data that I can find that we have also discussed. Found some numbers in 2 consecutive years. This is what we are talking about. Thought to pursue them, and I pursued and laid out the whole table. Then quantity consumption, average per month, domestic and bulk consumers to identify the difference of to production, consumption, and demand. So, at a consumption, demand, quantity, and the estimated demand and the production. So that we have also done, and now we are going to continue it in the next video. Thank you.